On this episode 100, there is so much to be grateful for. First and foremost, for you that have been listening to this podcast, have given me feedback on what you liked about it, and have really encouraged me to continue. And so I dedicate this episode to you, and I will share with you 9 people, most of them guests on my podcast, that have really made a difference in my life. And I hope you will find interest in what they did. Maybe you go back and listen to their episodes, because I think they can be really impactful for your life as well. Now let's get right into it and talk about those people in episode 100. Thank you. Hi and welcome to Lead Well. Hey, this is episode 100. Who would have thought that this would happen? I haven't, for sure, but I'm so glad I can share this episode with you. And today I really want to focus on gratitude. Those of you who know me know that I truly believe in the concept of being grateful every single day for also the little things that we have. And just a few days ago, it happened to me that I was lying in my bed and I started thinking about all the things that could happen that wouldn't be so nice. And guess what? I thought about my own teaching and I started to put my attention to the things that I am actually grateful for in this particular area. And when you feel grateful, there is no place for anxiety. There is no place for aggression. There is no place for anything bad, any bad emotion. It's a wonderful feeling to have. So practice gratitude, and that's what we do right now. And it's not only for me to be grateful for the people that I have been in contact with over the past few months, even years in some cases. It's also because I think they are so special that if you had not yet looked at the episodes or listened to the episodes, I definitely encourage you to do so, because they are just wonderful and very, very inspiring people. And I would love you to get the same out of the insights that they have. Now, who are the people that I'm talking about? The first one is Alissa Mayer. Alissa is someone I have come across not that long ago. And Alissa is teaching something that is called the Equine Hanna Somatics. And I have gone through the first level of training with her. And what I learned is amazing. The first insight there is that whenever you feel tension in your muscles, it doesn't help to work on your muscles. It doesn't help to get a massage, or at least it does not help on the long run, because this tension in the muscle is something that happens up there in your head. So it's your head that needs re-education on what that muscle tension should feel. And this is such a profound insight. And actually, I was so impressed by that teaching and the learning that I have also started studying this Hanna Somatics, or in that case, it's called clinical somatics for humans. And all those that I have been working with so far see a change in how they feel and their posture. And isn't that wonderful? Me included. So I'm forever grateful for that. The second person I'm forever grateful for is Maxi Fetch. I got to know her because she posted a picture of herself on LinkedIn where she's all smiling and wind is blowing through her hair. And it was a picture describing her state now versus what she had gone through, which is a deep depression. And she was brave enough to come on my podcast and talk about that experience. And I even get emotional talking about that because it was really, really deep. And the great thing is that we finally also met in person, and I am forever grateful to have her in my life. And again, if you want to listen to a person describing what it feels like to go through a deep depressive phase, then I encourage you to look and watch and also listen to that podcast episode. It's tough stuff, but for me, it explained a lot and it gave me an additional perspective on what people can go through and what strength actually means and what kind of the little things, like in that case, Maxi talks a lot about focusing on her senses, focusing on what she is currently doing, what we're currently feeling and doing and seeing and hearing. That's something so important to keep us sane. So Maxi, thank you. I really appreciate the conversation we had. Now, the third person I want to mention is Lori Pappas. Lori is one of the few people that I have got to know only a few weeks ago, well, month now. But it feels like I have known her forever. She is such a wonderful personality. She is a pioneer. She was one of the first women in the US to sell computers. She built a software company and then she founded a charity in rural Ethiopia. She is just exceptional. You have to get to know her, and you can, because she now teaches self-trust and inner peace. And her approach is called the Dream Framework. And I won't give you more details because, again, we had an interesting and wonderful conversation about that. So go to that episode, listen to it, and enjoy it, or read Lori's book, The Magic of Yes, which is a wonderful story, not only of her life, but it's also really insightful into the decisions she has taken and what effect that had on her life. And to me, she's absolutely a role model and I love her to pieces. Now the next person is Autumn Carter. And Autumn actually is the one who recommended me and said, well, Christine, you have to talk to Lori. I think there is something that you have in common. And thank you so much, not only for that, because Autumn is a wonderful podcaster colleague. She runs a brilliant podcast. She has great guests in every single episode. Well, she also runs solo episodes where she talks about wellness for every season. And she is so kind, such a kind personality. And I feel very, very close to her. And I know that you will once you listen to either our conversation in my podcast or you start listening to Autumn's podcast. Now, another guest on my list is Bianchin. He's Italian and he is such a special character. Loris is a business coach and he has 20 plus years of corporate experience, a bit like me, and he's blending that with neuroscience and NLP, a bit like me. So there are some things that we have in common. Now, he is focusing a lot on personal branding and how to overcome imposter syndrome, that syndrome that you feel that you are pretending and that others will find out that you're not as good as they think you are. Who hasn't had that experience? So it's a wonderful way of looking into that and getting over it. And Loris has a very specific background because he is an engineer. And so he uses this engineering style in his coaching. Now we come to another very close friend of mine, Leysa Henderson. I've also recorded an episode with her because Leysa is one of those people who, when you see her and talk to her, you would think, wow, very impressive, but very quiet. And you would never, ever guess the breadth and the depth of knowledge that this woman has. She is a former teacher and developed a model that she calls benevolent leadership. And when she talks about that in our episode, it explains it beautifully. The way she treated her children and the way the both of us treat animals, because she's a trust technique practitioner as well. And what she did is that she helped the students, her pupils, to really believe in themselves, overcome as well this imposter syndrome, to think they're not good enough. And she really helped classes elevate from 2 to 3 years behind to everyone passing, because she gave everyone this conviction that they are good at what they're doing. They can do it. And she gave them that support. And she knows how to listen. And she knows how to be consistent and how to convey this feeling of, I'm here for you and I care about you. And this is what builds trust over the long run. So thank you, Leysa, for all you've been doing. Now, another very special woman is Sunny Harrison. Sunny has been a colleague of mine in the corporate world for just 6 months, and that was 10 years ago. But I'm so blessed to have come across her, because I have never experienced someone with the same conviction, with the same level of activity, and the same kindness as Sunny has. She is still working in corporate in a really big company with a lot of responsibility, and still in her free time, she has founded Create Lasting Change, where 100% of the donations go directly to the projects that she is supporting. And Sunny does not only that. So she is 100% animal lover and supporter, but she also thinks further about abuse and is now engaging in projects that help abused children and abused women. And she is putting it all together now with this sanctuary in Namibia, where they plan to create a center where not only animals can find a haven, but also abused children and women. And I am supporting this because there are not a lot of initiatives that are led with such an intense desire to help and support and make the world a better place. So thank you, Sunny, for running this. That brings me to another person who has deeply influenced my life, probably more than anyone else. His name is James French. And he, together with his now wife, Shelley Slingo, has founded the Trust Technique. And while I have not done an episode with James, I have the great honor and pleasure to co-host a podcast for him, actually a vodcast, as we call it there, because it's a video podcast. And we go through questions from James's clients, and the amount and the depth of how to work with animals in an animal-friendly way is just incredible. It has completely changed my view of the world, my view of animals, my view of interacting with animals. And in addition to that, And I'm also getting emotional here because with James, for the first time, I found a way to actually reduce my thinking levels. Because you know me, I have a very busy mind, a really busy mind. And up until my education in the trust technique, I thought, why should I stop thinking? Why should I reduce my thinking levels? And boy, now I know why. Because when I am able to reduce my thinking level, when I'm able to actually give my head, my brain a bit of rest, it changes everything. I start to feel my body. I start to feel my feelings, my emotions. And I actually can think much clearer when I do. And so thank you, James, from the bottom of my heart. You have impacted my life profoundly, probably more than anyone else, other than my mother. And that's a huge thing to say. Together with Shelley, of course. And a lot of what I learned in parallel and before and after comes together with the trust technique and also comes together, now I'm getting really emotional, with this approach that I have been calling neuropositive, where again, this idea of calming and getting peaceful insight before doing anything else is also the foundation of this approach that I'm now using with my clients. Thank you, big thank you. And the last person in this podcast I want to mention is the one who actually managed to me starting a podcast, Owen Fitzpatrick. Owen is, I would call him genius. He would probably not call himself that, but I truly believe he is. Because with Owen, he is one of those that whenever you ask him a question, he will have an answer for you. And he will not only have an answer for you, he will have like a scripted answer for you. So you would believe that he is reading from a book when he's giving you that answer. He is a global business psychologist. He actually started at the age of 14 to work with other people just because he himself was going through an episode of deep depression. And then that made him interested in how humans think and react and act. He is now a renowned coach and speaker. And I had the huge benefit or the huge honor of being in his mentorship program for 5 years. And gosh, there is so much I learned from this guy. And I have the fullest respect for him because, as I said, I mean, he is like all over the place. He is interested in so many different things, and he knows what is important for the human being. And if you want to look at something really great, grandiose, have a look at his TEDx talk, Mind Control, where he delivered 10 minutes entirely in rhyme. And it's not only a poem, it's really explaining how we have this inner dialogue, this inner propaganda that's going on in a person's mind. And he is currently writing a book. I cannot give you a link to his book yet because he is still working on it, but once it's out, I definitely link that because this book, Inner Propaganda, is distilling 30 years of work on beliefs and human behavior. And knowing Owen, it will be a masterpiece. So those are the people that had such an impact on me, on my work, on my life. And there are hundreds of others. And if I have not mentioned you, then this doesn't mean that I am not grateful. Actually, I'm forever grateful for any interaction we had and for every insight that I could gain through you and every conversation we had, because I love having conversations. And this is podcast episode 100. And I was thinking a long time, should I stop? Should I continue? But I think I have to continue. So thank you for today. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye for now.
This was Lead Well. Now, what is the one thing that you're taking away from this episode? Please share in the comments below and do share the podcast with your friends and family, but only if you like it.